The day begins with a summons. For many of us, it is not prayer, it is not silence, it is not the quiet mercy of waking before God. It is the phone. A screen lights up beside the bed, a message waits, a notification flashes, a headline is already asking for our attention, and before we have offered the day to Christ, something else has already spoken first. That is not a small thing, because the first voice we answer in the morning often shapes the spirit we carry through the rest of the day. If I begin the day with noise, I often carry that noise within me. If I begin with pressure, I carry that pressure. If I begin with comparison, fear, outrage, or demand, those things do not stay outside me, they begin to enter the heart, and this is why the modern Christian struggle is not only about technology. It is about discipleship. It is about attention. It is about love. What has my heart learned to seek first? That is the real question. The phone is not just a tool. It is also a teacher. It teaches speed. It teaches reaction. It teaches interruption. It teaches us to feel uneasy when nothing is happening. But the life of prayer does not grow well in constant interruption. Prayer asks something different of us. It asks us to be still. It asks us to listen. It asks us to wait. It asks us to stand before God without pretending. That is challenging in a world that trains us to move every few seconds. Many believers feel this struggle deeply. They love God, but they feel thin. They want to pray, but their mind is scattered. They go to church, serve, listen, and sing, and yet somewhere inside there is a weariness that is difficult to name, not just tiredness, soul tiredness. And sometimes we worsen it by thinking the answer is simply to try harder, pray harder, focus harder, be better, do more. But the gospel does not begin with more striving. It begins with Christ. The screen says, "Answer me now." Christ says, "Come to me." The screen says, "You are behind." Christ says, "I will grant you rest." The screen says, "Prove yourself." Christ says, "Abide in me." That difference matters. When Jesus says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will grant you rest," he is not giving us a decorative verse for difficult days. He is giving us a new way to live, a new center, a new rhythm, a new beginning. His rest is not laziness. It is not an escape. It is not about giving up. It is a life no longer ruled by panic. So perhaps this is where we begin again, very simply. Before touching the phone, pray. Before opening the feed, open the scriptures. Before taking in the noise of the world, receive one clear word from Christ. It does not have to be dramatic. It may be one sentence, "Lord Jesus, this day is yours." It may be one psalm, one quiet prayer, one moment of silence, one act of surrender. That is enough to begin, because the goal is not performance, the goal is presence. The goal is not to become impressive Christians with polished routines. The goal is to become people who live from the presence of God rather than from the demands of the screen. The day will still be busy, responsibilities will remain, messages will wait, work will continue, but when Christ names the day first, everything else begins to find its proper place. The world will keep summoning us, the screen will keep calling, the noise will not disappear overnight. But there is another voice, a better voice, a gentler voice, the voice of Christ. The day begins with a summons. The question is simple. Whose summons will we answer first?